Oh yeah, hi Liam. Liam, can you tell me what was the off season like for you? Obviously, coming so close last year in the playoffs, Sunderland. Obviously, your opponents who defeated you went up. Was it a long soul searching summer, or do you much park it and onto the new season?
Yeah, obviously the initial when you leave for the summer, it's fresh in your mind, and you've got all the what ifs, buts, and maybes, and how tight the games obviously was, and the manner in which we obviously lost the second leg. Obviously still hurts now, and there's things that you wish you would have done better, of course. But I think we took a lot of I won't say lessons from it, but in terms of we knew what it took to get us to where we got to the second half of the season. I think the emphasis since coming back and over the summer, really, in the back of my mind, is we've seen and we know we've lived it. You know what it takes, and to start the season as solid as we kind of have done was something that we was keen to do. Obviously, a setback midweek, so it's about the reaction now and looking towards the next game.
And Liam, often in the sort of League One, there's an awful lot of turnover and players come the summer with players leaving and players going. But Sheffield Wednesday, you've managed to keep three quarters of the squad that you had last year. So is that giving you a sort of head start going into the new season, that there's so many familiar faces that were there last year?
Yeah, I think that's key in terms of keeping the core together, like you've just touched on there, and having a big bulk of the squad together still from the beginning, but also the club and the manager getting his signings over the line pretty quickly in the windows allowed us to work for a longer period rather than obviously the window's still open now, of course, but just having time for the new additions to get up to speed on how he wants to work and how, and getting used to the other boys in the squad.
And as we know, Sheffield Wednesday is a massive club with a massive tradition and pedigree. And obviously, with that comes the weight of expectation. Many people will feel that you're all but a championship club, but a name, really. So, carrying that sort of weight of expectation into the season, is this a sort of a burden sometimes when maybe results go against you, or you're feeling maybe one or two defeats in a row? Does the pressure really crank up?
I think the weight of expectation, you kind of, that's what you're in the game for, especially at this club, and I've been here long enough to know that. The highs are really high, and when you win it, everything's great, of course. And when you lose, yeah, there's no one feels it more than us players directly. So I think the expectation's always going to be there. We kind of want it to be there. I don't see it as a burden personally. I think it's something that we should have and we should use to good effect. And then obviously we lost midweek, but there's another game luckily for us in a few days after that, and you just want to get right back at it and right them wrongs. And I just want to say, obviously, on the midweek one, thought the fans showed their class right throughout the game, and huge numbers again, which don't go unnoticed by the players. It's even though the game's not going to plan and a bit of adversity and things, they were out singing and cheering us on, and it does make a big difference. Unfortunately, we couldn't turn it around or come out there with any kind of points, but I just wanted to mention about the fans there.
And I suppose, Liam, with Sheffield Wednesday, obviously the priority is promotion to the championship. Does that really averse how you sort of treat cup competitions like the League Cup or the FA Cup, or do you treat them as separate entities, or is it so much the focus is so much on the league to get up to the championship?
Yeah, obviously the league probably is a priority, but you've already seen in the early round of the Carabao Cup, beat a championship team there in Sunderland, and the manager put out a strong squad, and whatever 11 he probably chooses is quite strong, just like Joe touched on with the strength in depth that we have. So as well as the league, we want to win games, and I think league or cup and whatever game it is, we're keen to win, and that all ties into the kind of momentum that we're hoping to build back up during the campaign.
And I suppose lastly from Liam, I suppose we're heading into crazy weeks now until September the 1st. As a player, do you start to distance yourself, or do you like to keep in touch, maybe read papers, listen to what's on TV about who might be coming or who might be linked, or do you like to separate yourself and totally, once you leave the training grounds, go back to your family life and separate yourself what might or might not be said?
Yeah, I'm not really interested too much in newspapers. I never have been a big reader. So I'll go home and like anyone, I'll stick the TV on and, you know, the Sky Sports show might be on or whatever, but I don't really pay much mind in terms of what's kind of going on. And people sometimes ask, "Ooh, what about this and that?" I just say, listen, I don't know till players turn up at the door. And I think obviously friends and fans forget that. And most of the things that happen, like I say, you don't find out until you turn up or you see it on social media. I think news travels so quickly these days. It's yeah, it's just one of them for me. You just kind of it's another week, it's another kind of day. When it comes September the 1st, I don't really pay too much mind to it, to be honest.
Cheers, Liam. Best of luck against Bolton.
Cheers, James. Thank you.